Okay, we're back. I'm back. I'm Joe.
I'm Conor.
I'm Josh.
And we're here for Marvel Therapy Group. Episode, don't remember.
24?
24, alright.
25?
24,
Maybe.
25?
I don't know.
Hey, you want to know what's better than 24?
It's lit.
25.
Ha 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 ha. Keith Sutherland would disagree with that, though.
Really? A SpongeBob.
He was in 24.
I'm making a SpongeBob joke here.
Oh, jeez.
Because it's 90s.
90s.
Did SpongeBob come out in the 90s?
Yeah. I think it started in the 90s.
I don't know
late
if it was
90s.
early 2000s.
No, it definitely came out in the late 90s.
Hang on a second.
All right. So.
We're talking all about Captain Marvel today.
And all things 90s.
All things 90s.
Things 90s.
Yep.
Oh, hang on. My 90s Macho Man shirt is a little too tight. Oh, and yeah, it's 99. Okay.
Haha.
99, so that is 90s, yes. Alright. Sorry, Connor.
So, I'm back. I'm Joe. And as we introduced ourselves already, fourth co-host Connor, actor Josh. Jack is not here because he's been banned after using the pun hijacked. And I will not stand for that.
I don't
Anyway.
understand.
I'm into it.
You're into it?
And it thickens the plot. I mean, there's a whole backstory running here now. I like it.
It's usually what happens when you add flour.
Right.
I'm into it. All right, should we dive right in, or is there like a spoiler warning that we have to do first?
We should probably do a spoiler warning.
Let's play the intro first.
Dreaming about teaming up with a superhero? Heartbroken about the latest comic death? Do you find your conversations always turning to Marvel? Then welcome Marvelites to your therapy session. Join your hosts as we explore the realms of the Marvel Universe, taking you into new insights, movie reviews, and debates. Here, we won't try to cure any obsessions, but fuel them, because the world is better nerdy. Welcome to your Marvel Therapy Group.
Hands.
I was just waiting. I was waiting and making sure. All right, so
Waiting on the world to change.
I guess like first thing to take away. I thought overall it was an okay movie. I had fun because like at all Marvel movies, I think you'll have a fun time no matter what. It's gonna be because it's all connected to each other. But it was just
Really?
okay. In the end. I know, right? A
No,
cinematic
yeah.
universe. What?
Josh never.
DC can't figure it out.
I know. Nothing gets by you, Josh.
I know, exactly. I don't know about you. I feel as though you guys are in the same boat as me.
I have to agree. It was,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a good
Yeah.
movie, but it was an okay movie.
Thankfully,
it was a very 90s movie.
I think that's
well,
really...
that's what we were talking about earlier. But it wasn't at the same time. Like other than besides Blockbuster and Radio Shack.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air
And the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Startup. That was probably the most 90s part of the movie.
Yeah,
What was the Fresh Prince reference?
There was literally a quick line where the daughter...
She's like, "Are you gonna be back enough to watch Fresh Prince?"
or
or
something?
I
I thought that was adorable. I loved it.
Yeah.
It's funny because there's two parts to that, because I think this almost as though this movie was released in the 90s, because it felt, by the way it was paced, it was a very 90s movie, as though, because it was kind of corny at first.
Yeah.
But I don't think they, as what we're saying, they didn't lean into the fact that it was the 90s enough. I thought that they really just, like, touched on it here and there.
They just kind of threw some random songs
Exactly.
in there. Like when they were driving on the like Canyon Road and they had a song. It's
Don't
a little bit out of
go
place, but okay. Yeah, is that one?
I think, because, like, they had a Blockbuster and Radio Shack Gardens right after each other. And then, like, no 90s talk.
Yeah, nothing.
The whole, like, maybe, like, 30 minutes, and then there was, like, a 90s song. You're like, oh, it's the 90s.
She steals that guy's bike and then puts on, like, biker gear.
Nine Inch Nails t-shirt, yeah, exactly. But I feel as though they could have joked about the 90s more, because that was, like, that was, like, the first thing in the trailer.
Yeah.
It was, like, a blockbuster, and everyone's like, oh, it's the 90s.
Which isn't actually a real blockbuster, by the way. Did you see
Right,
that article that came out?
Yeah, and they're having the tourists go
Yeah.
there just because it's in Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I think
Yeah,
I think
very
it was in California, right?
I don't know.
I don't know. That's the only one left in the United States. There used to be two in Alaska, but those both closed.
Oh, poor Alaska. They need their DVD
Well,
stores.
they had Blockbuster and Sarah Palin.
Where else am I gonna rent True Detective?
I was cleaning out the basement the other day and I found the old Blockbuster membership card.
Oh, you did?
Like, I could sell that to a museum now, right?
I know, yeah. You could sell it to a Captain Marvel fan.
You could probably
for probably an
American
unbelievable-
History Museum in Washington, D.C.
Yeah. I can sell that, fund this podcast.
Exactly. I wonder what the age was of kids who saw this who didn't get most of it. I'd like to say there was like a fair amount of the audience.
I would
was
say
like, what's Blockbuster?
at least 50%.
Right? Like,
At least
yeah.
50%.
I want to think that at least. Because I know that there were kids during the movies like that. There was a friend of mine who was telling me he was sitting in the back of the theater and like there was a kid that shouted like, "Oh, the '80s," and everyone's like, "Oh." You know, classic.
But did you hear how much it made in its opening weekend?
It was like 455
$55 million.
Yeah,
That's
60 million.
Worldwide. But $500 million worldwide.
That
its
has to be
opening
one of the
weekend.
biggest Marvel openings.
It is,
right?
wasn't
Like,
it? Didn't it beat Infinity War?
It couldn't have beaten Infinity War.
I thought it did. I
Really?
thought it was. Oh, it's the first or the second, and it's one of those two.
Yes.
I think it might have been the second highest grossing. I think Infinity War was number
It's
one.
amazing. I mean, obviously, like, I assume that... I know right off the bat Endgame's going to be, like, the highest grossing Marvel film
Yeah.
of all time. Because the
Just because
sequel was
go-
always...
People are going to go see it like 5 times in its opening
No,
weekend.
you're so... 'Cause it's the same thing. Like, Empire Strikes Back was a bigger grossing movie than A New Hope. When you have a sequel that's direct to it, like, more people...
Especially when it comes out... Well, this one's not coming out 50 years later, but like Last Jedi came out 50 years after the original ones.
That's a good point. Force Awakens.
You said The Last
You
Jedi.
said Last Jedi.
Oh, is that the one coming out? What?
No, The Force
Sorry,
Awakens.
Last Jedi was the one from '83. Force Awakens was the one that came out in 2015.
Wait, The Last Jedi?
No, sorry. Return of the Jedi. I got confused.
Okay.
Sorry, okay.
I was
The
like,
titles are so similar.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry. These movies. I can't wait for them to call this one The Force Sith Revenge. It's all the same thing. No, speaking of Star Wars, I actually wanted to talk about this. I felt as if there were so many like things when I was watching Captain Marvel. I'm like, is this just from Star Wars? Like Jude Law even had the line where it's like, "Don't let your emotions like something your judgment."
cloud your judgment.
Yeah, exactly. And that was like, that's directly ripped from Star Wars.
Well,
They
no, it
changed
was
one
something
word.
like Yoda. Yoda said it.
Yeah, and they changed one word in Captain Marvel, so it didn't like copy that. And also,
Well, what they probably did was just take that one line that Yoda said and just unscrambled it like Yoda says his lines, and they're like, "We'll just use it. They won't notice."
but also it was things like the chase scene through the canyon. Like that's like Star Warsy. There were so many moments
Oh,
in
yeah.
this where it was like,
Well, because I'm pretty sure they did like an aerial shot too at one point.
Yeah.
How they used to do it with Star Wars,
Right,
where they
I
would do
remember
the
that. I was
aerial
thinking Star
shot,
Wars,
and they were
too.
like zooming
Yeah.
in and out. Oh, it was. It was
At
at
the
the
very end.
at the very end when they were going through
Yeah.
the canyons. It was kind of like
That was
Phantom
very
Menace.
Star
it
Wars.
was very
yeah.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
And I think because like I remember when I watched Guardians, and I initially said I love this whole space thing. It reminds me of Star Wars, and that's when Marvel introduced the whole space element to this universe.
Mm-hmm.
In this movie, I didn't know what they were trying to do, like enforce the space side and Earth, because it felt as though it wasn't an even balance.
No, it wasn't.
Of both of them.
And because of that, I was like, why should I care about this character?
I know, yes.
I don't have an attachment to Captain Marvel yet.
Oh, that's
Like, and then going back to your emotion comment, I feel like that's what they tried to make her character
Yes.
development about, but they only had like a line at the beginning and a line at the very end about her emotions.
Also, she wasn't that emotional
She
of a
wasn't
person.
well,
She was-
and then yeah, she was very monotone acting in that thing. I felt like for a majority of it, like
Yeah.
like even at the end credits when she's like, "Where's Fury?" Like,
Right. I don't
like-
think that's anything against Brie Larson. I
No,
think
it
she's
isn't.
playing that as
I think it was
like,
a direction
a
thing,
brainwashed soldier.
Yeah. There were two sides of Captain Marvel. There was like the snarky remark side, and there was this I'm a noble warrior hero or
Well,
whatever.
I mean,
it
you
is,
can even
yeah.
make the debate. It was like for Bucky Barnes when he was the Winter Soldier and he got brainwashed. Like he
Yeah,
was
but-
more like a soldier. She wasn't. She honestly just looked like she was a human who had no idea what the hell was going
Oh,
on.
she
and-
had no idea what was going on.
No, she had no.
But the thing was, because didn't she say to whatever Jude Law's character's name was that she was having the flashbacks?
That's probably. I think so.
I think she at
And-
least
and-
mentioned that she keeps seeing that woman.
Yeah,
and
and
then-
kept seeing her.
And then I feel like if you were Jude Law, like, wouldn't you kind of be concerned, be like, oh crap,
also,
she's learning
If
something?
I were Jude Law, I wouldn't take half of her name tag and be like,
That's what we
I'm gonna
said
use
too.
the last like part of her name as her name, and she'll never figure it out.
That
Like,
was really clever. I didn't figure that out until
Yeah.
someone told me after the movie.
And then
Yeah.
it became unclever.
and then it
became
immediately
unclever.
Yeah.
became unclever. Yeah, exactly.
Because yeah, we were talking about that. If you want to brainwash someone, why are you going to give them a name even closely related to
exactly,
their
I
original
know.
name?
Just call.
Yeah,
her
and then like I was
Back.
saying with the thing when she was starting to remember things, like he was like not concerned about it at all.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay. Whatever. Like it's
Yeah.
like really like if you were go brainwash someone, like wouldn't you be concerned like they're like memorizing things?
But
And you're
that's-
kind of like
So
because
that-
he knew who Marvel was. Like wouldn't you be like, oh crap, no, she's starting to know who she is,
Right.
and he's just kind of like, All right. We'll see you at Earth.
Yeah, I think that goes back to the whole, I don't know, because, like, that kills me with the whole emotion thing again, because I understand the whole soldier thing, but Jude Law would constantly comment, like, you're too emotional, your emotions get in the way, and there was no emotional, like, strength from her in the end, and also the whole point of Captain Marvel is supposed to be, I think, it's okay to feel your emotions, right? Like, that's, or it's okay to be emotional?
I don't know.
It's either that or you can do whatever, because there were two things that I thought Captain Marvel was about. It was either that or it was about you can do whatever to this woman, but she will always get back up. And
I think it was more than
that. I think it's more that they just did a poor job of doing that, I think.
Yeah.
That's my own.
They showed it in the trailer, and then, that was the big reveal. Like, you saw it in the trailer. Oh, she gets back up.
I think that's
the entire movie, one of my friends said the entire movie was just her being kicked down and then getting back up.
Oh,
over and over again.
The funny thing, too, is what I've really noticed, too, I mean, naturally this movie came out in the 80s, but it was at the end when she was fighting Jude Law, and he kind of was, like, going into that whole, like, I'm gonna fight you kind of thing, and she just sticks out her thing and blasts him. I was like, where does this scene remind me of? Like, from a movie? I was like, this scene reminds me of something. Then I remember it was from Indiana Jones. When he pulls out the gun and just shoots the guy with the knives.
It's from another Marvel movie, too, because that reminded me exactly of the first Avengers. He's just screaming at Hulk, and Hulk
boom.
just grabs him, and then just...
But they did that tastefully, though, for Avengers. They did that tastefully. This one was just like, boom, and then he's kind of like, ugh.
Well, it's also
she's like, I don't have anything to prove to you. And then there's their character development, I guess.
Yeah, I know, exactly. Well, and it was also so predictable, because the second that he put down his guard and the speech got long, you're like, okay, she's just going to blast him. That's, like, exactly what's going to happen. That's something that also kills me about superhero movies sometimes. This is a really minor thing. I hate when the hero fights themselves. Like, it happens in Black Panther. Black Panther fights Gold Black Panther. Iron Man fights bigger Iron Man. Brie Larson fights people with different color palettes. Like, it's literally, it's the same kind of hero-villain fight for the majority of Marvel films.
But
you could say
that's what superhero movies are, though. That's for character development.
But
with the inner struggle sometimes,
which
too.
There was none in this movie.
There was, exactly.
Well, I was just saying in general, that's what...
I think there's certain things that do well where they're not just fighting the reverse color palette of the character. Like, when all of the people fight Loki, like, you know what I mean? But you could say Loki's Thor opposite, I get that. I guess I always go to Captain America and Red Skull. I find that a different enough...
Red Skull!
Let's get...
Let's bring him back.
Hashtag Red Skull for Endgame. Let's get some more Red Skull in there.
I want him in the post.
That's the worst part of Infinity War.
What?
No. At first, I was like, oh my god, it's Hugo Weaving, and I'm like, that's not Hugo Weaving.
No.
And then in the end, it was kind of like, okay, so I'm okay. I don't really.
It was
care
some guy
anymore,
from The Walking Dead that they had play it.
Yeah. Okay. Side story. Yeah, Red Skull in Infinity War was completely useless.
Yeah, he was.
It was just something as a shock factor to the fans.
Well, what they should have...
But you're telling me that out of the entire universe, the Infinity Stones found a Nazi and was like, we want you to guard us.
We want you to guard that.
And then how has he been sustained for 10 years?
His face is red, that's why.
He had no food or water, so he's just like...
He has the snow, that's water.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the stones are actually rocky.
And he's not really human either, so you...
He is human.
Yeah, but he's not fully human, though.
No, he is. He's
but he is.
Super soldier serum.
Except he got a cool cape. That's what I noticed the whole time.
And a badass...
Like, what's up with this cape? Yeah.
And then a badass car.
Yeah, well, I mean... Not in Infinity Land.
No, but...
That's what we're going to call it. There's space, there's Earth, and Infinity Land.
Perfect.
Where they all go.
And then there's the 90s where Brie Larson is.
And going back to Brie Larson in the 90s, yeah. There were great moments to it. I thought there was a lot of really good acting jobs. Like, I thought Jude Law's amazing. Ben Mendelsohn is incredible as the Skrull guy. I thought, like, his... Samuel L. Jackson, of course, is fun. I don't get how... First off, Samuel L. Jackson, like, de-ages himself in general. Because he's a 70-year-old man and he doesn't look 70.
Well, that's what I was saying, too. Like, I was like, you could definitely notice that they had to do a lot for Clark Gregg to get him to look younger. And Samuel L. Jackson, I heard they did some of it, but to me it wasn't that noticeable.
It's almost like, in my mind, it looked like they just gave him hair.
Yeah.
Like, that's how good he looks. Like,
Yeah,
I
well,
know
and
that they used
me and Joe were talking, and it was like that one scene you could tell that the CGI was wicked bad.
Yes,
It was
there
at
was-
the stairs when he was pointing his gun down at them, and he's like, "No, they're
Clark
not down
Gregg.
here. It's clear down here."
Yeah.
Clark Gregg.
That's what I said. That's what I
Yeah.
said. Him.
Yeah.
That you could tell that I was like, ooh.
It was a little weird.
They should've
His
gave
face
him a
was kind of
mullet.
like shiny.
Yeah, I know.
It was like a baby face.
They
Baby
really,
face.
well, because I forgot they made him really young. I forgot, like he was. What do you think they were trying to make him be? Because it made him feel as though, because he was a new recruit, like he was in his maybe.
Well, no, you know what it looked
mid-20s?
like? It looked like regular Clark, or like today's Clark Gregg, but just with a touch up. Like,
Yeah.
Like when your school photos get touched up and they take out like freckles.
Oh,
David
and
Hair.
zits.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, he just looked shiny the
Yeah.
whole time. They were like, okay, Samuel Jackson will look younger and Clark Gregg will be shiny, and that will solve all our problems.
And I mean, to me, like, they didn't really have to de-age because Clark Gregg doesn't look that old in general.
No.
Like
No.
you honestly, like you CGI, you can easily do without. Like if you have someone who's good with makeup, you can contour someone's face to look younger.
Mm-hmm.
You know this
I mean, I know that it works to a certain extent because it depends on
because like if I were the Russo brothers and I saw the CGI for that and I saw that scene, that would make me cringe.
I don't know how well they could have done the makeup compared to the CGI because
I thought you can do makeup better than you can do CGI because if you make CGI has come a long way. You know, like especially like from like the Star Wars movies, like even from the 80s, even from the early 2000s.
I rewatched Tron Legacy, which don't ask me why I rewatched Tron Legacy, but I rewatched Tron Legacy, and I remember back in the day, I was like, oh my god, Jeff Bridges looks so real. How did they make him look young? Look up pictures now of what they did to Jeff Bridges' face, because it is the most CGI. Because like the first scene, like it's like a flashback. It's young Jeff Bridges talking to his son, saying, "I'll be back," but then he gets trapped in the machine.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't wait to... I remember this being so good, and then it flips to him, and it's like a cartoon character is standing next to this real boy. It's the great... I'll try to find pictures. But
That's weird.
I think they just want to keep flexing this technology. They just want to keep... Because I think it looks great in Pirates. Like, that's like a moment where I think the DH is really useful, because they made Johnny Depp look like a 15-year-old pirate or something crazy. Like
Well,
that.
yeah, I mean, I'm saying you can do it in moderation. Like, you can do it right. Like, if you're going to do CGI, you got to do it right. Make it look convincing. And I understand, like, the technology. Like, there's certain things that you're not going to be able to do. Like,
Yeah.
it's not going to be perfect. Like, it's not going to look like me and you, because obviously it's, like, it's not at that level yet. But, like, I don't know. Sometimes I think CGI kind of kills...
Hang on, I'm finding it.
I personally think that you're telling me in Hollywood they couldn't find a makeup artist good enough to make him look a little bit younger?
Okay, that's Jeff Bridges' CGI in Tron Legacy.
That's like the GameCube games that we used to
It just
play.
doesn't hold up at
Yeah.
all. And that's only maybe 2010. Like I don't know if I'm getting.
Well,
that
it was
right.
funny. The other day, I was at my neighbor's house and we were playing the original Black Ops from like 9 years ago. Like Black Ops 1.
Yeah.
And we were looking at it and I was like, oh my god. I was like, the graphics in this are so bad. Like, I mean, they were bad. And I was like, this was only 9 years ago. And like back then, obviously, that was like, we thought that was like the shiz. You know, that was like the best
that's
thing.
how quickly people are able to move graphically now. Like things in a movie quality from 9 years ago doesn't look good anymore. I wonder how long these effects will hold up. These
Probably-
de-aging effects. Like, do you
I
think
mean, the
they'll-
de-aging effect wasn't bad.
It's very
Well,
good,
it was
but
like
how long will it be until we're like, oh my god, this is prehistoric?
It
Oh,
probably
yeah.
will be in another 10 years.
Or when you
It
get
depends.
to watch movies in like a hologram, you're like, who could ever watch it on a 2D screen?
Exactly. Exactly. I'm watching Avengers 7 on my 3D surround sound hologram.
Oh, yeah,
Where
eventually.
you actually get to take part as
I
one
was
of the
about to
characters.
say you become an Avengers in Avengers.
Yeah, I mean, eventually movies you'll be more
Yeah,
interactive.
you fight alongside.
Like, you'd actually, like,
who would be left on it?
You'd throw on goggles and you'd just be sitting in the actual movie.
Yeah.
You won't be, like, sitting and staring at a screen.
That'd be incredible if you were just one of the Avengers in Avengers 7. You
Eventually-
defeat Galactus single-handedly.
Eventually, it will have to come to that point of it because the way we've been watching movies has been the same since the 20s. In the 30s, when movies came out, like, you pay money to sit in a theater, look at a screen from a distance. Like, it hasn't changed.
I guess you're right, yeah. that has-
Besides, like, now you can watch TV in your house, but, like, the concept of the film and watching it has the same. So eventually they're going to have to make that next step.
Yeah. Oh, man. I think looking back in retrospect, and I'm only going to talk like in the 10-year time of Marvel. Captain Marvel really felt like one of the first Phase movies to me. Mm-hmm. Like the way it was structured.
Yeah.
They tried to like say it wasn't an origin story, and I give them credit because it's not like
it was an origin story.
But it was an origin story in the end because it's not like.
Well, they didn't brand it as an origin story.
Exactly, because they tried to say, "Oh, she already has her powers."
Like, it wasn't like the Wolverine movie where it was like Wolverine Origins.
But exactly, but it fell in the same category.
I know, I made everyone just cringe.
Iron Man 1, Captain America: First Avenger. It was like that beginning.
Well, everyone, you have to have an established.
I don't think so because Spider-Man, even though I'm not the biggest fan of Spider-Man: Homecoming, that just jumps you right in. You see him in Avengers, and then it jumps you right into it. And that was refreshing.
Yeah, but you can make the same debate for the Tobey Maguire ones too.
That's an origin story.
It wasn't though. I mean, him becoming Spider-Man, yes.
Yeah.
But his background story, it doesn't explain his background story. They assume you already know that his parents were killed. Because in the original series, they don't mention anything about it. In the Tobey Maguire ones, they don't say, oh, your parents died in, what was it, a plane crash or something?
But is that part of the origin? Because the origin story, in my opinion, is just getting your powers. That's what an origin story is. To
me, an origin story is his backstory.
Joe, debate.
No, I agree with Josh.
Yeah.
The origin story is how you get your powers.
I think that's really what it... Because, in the end, I think those movies are origin stories because it's literally like you... Actually, maybe this is the better way. You are Peter Parker, and by the end of the movie, he is Spider-Man.
You go from human to superhuman.
I think that's what defines an origin story. Because the backstory you could dig into, and they don't really do it in the original Spider-Man. You're right. They do it in Amazing Spider-Man, but I don't like it.
A backstory is what you go to for character development.
I think. So I think the origin story, and I think that's why you can classify Brie Larson's as an origin story, because it's from... Veers to Captain Marvel. Like that is the change.
No, actually, Veers to Carol Danvers to... Do they ever say Captain Marvel?
Do they? I thought they teased at it. So the only thing is Samuel L. Jackson's like, I feel bad about like Marvel or something, and she's like, it's Marvel, and he's like, Marvel sounds better, and it's like, aha!
Marvel.
That's why we love Carol the Avenger Danvers.
Although I don't think they ever say Carol Danvers either, because she goes, my name is Carol.
No, they do.
Her friend says Danvers.
Yeah, her friend tells her Carol Danvers or whatever her name is.
I get so confused because Supergirl's Kara Danvers. Like, it's ridiculous.
Is it really?
Absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, I wonder which one came first, because that's clearly stolen.
We gotta see, because one of them took it from the other person.
Wait, Marvel and DC do that all the time.
Because they have a what's his name? Doctor Strange. They have Doctor Strange in the DC and
Dr. Fate.
No, they have a Doctor Strange.
Oh, there's actually a Doctor Strange.
There's a Doctor Strange in the DC,
that's ridiculous.
And then there's Doctor Strange.
I just always put Dr. Fate and Doctor Strange.
But one is clearly good and the other one's clearly bad.
True. It's alright. I think the thing that's fine with the Kara and Carol thing is I think Supergirl and Captain Marvel are different enough characters. They're both female super heroines who are like super powerful, but at least their powers are kind of different. I don't know. They're pretty...
Carol, I mean, well, yeah, Captain Marvel is definitely the Superman of the MCU.
Yeah.
Because she's overpowered and no one can
And they
stop
really
her.
did show that at the end of Captain Marvel. It was just like, this is no sweat for her.
No, yeah. She was just destroying war. Okay. So she found out that the Kree had been misled by the Supreme Intelligence to go, like, just massacre all of the Skrulls when they thought that the Skrulls were still waging war on them. But instead of trying
Stormtroopers.
But instead of trying to, like, bring that truth out, she just destroys the warships and kills her own people.
That's a good point. But Ronan's like, wait, no, send all the pods at the same time. Alright, we're retreating. I'll see you again never, yeah? I think it's interesting because, I don't know how you feel about this, I don't know if I can't even remember if we already talked about this. I went into the movie at first being like, wait, the Kree are bad. The Kree are bad. I'm like, that's defined in Guardians. So the whole time I'm like, are the Kree not bad? Maybe they turn bad? And then the Skrulls come in, and I'm like, okay, so that's the bad guy? But wait, the Kree are the bad guy. So the whole beginning, I like how they twist it, but it feels that the whole time, there's the definitive truth of the Kree are bad. Because the second Jude Law started talking to Ronan, I'm like, they can't be good.
That's true, yeah. Maybe that's another reason why I didn't really... like you can't pinpoint the concept of this movie. Maybe because there's no villain. You don't know who the villain is.
Well, also, I'd like to say the Skrulls like claim to be the good guys.
Yeah.
But one of the Skrulls tries to shoot Captain Marvel.
Yes.
On planet Earth. I'm like, is that a stun ray? It's like, no, we're not trying to kill you. We just...
That's right.
That's the bad Skrull. Never mind, that's the bad Skrull.
Oh, yeah, when she was on top of the building. When they were on top of the building.
Yeah, that guy was trying to kill her.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
Yep.
He's a bad Skrull, though. He's a bad...
I mean, clearly
But was he...
at one point-
I don't know, was he trying... No, I don't think he was. I think he was
When
trying
he
to kill
shot that
Samuel L.
laser?
Jackson.
Wasn't it Captain Marvel?
Yeah, he destroys the whole, like...
I thought it was at Captain Marvel.
No, it wasn't. And I thought it was at Samuel L. Jackson because I remember her moving him or pushing him out of the way.
Maybe. Okay.
Clearly at one point the Skrulls and the Kree civilizations were at war, so one of them, or maybe they're both villains to each other.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
I know
so
that
many.
traditionally the Kree are... They're self-serving, so it just depends on if you happen to fall on the same side as them, then they're their allies. But
Yeah.
then, like, as soon as that problem's over, they can be your enemies again.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of I compared it to Ant-Man and the Wasp, or just Ant-Man. Ant-Man is like a smaller hero, so when he like faces problems, they're at a smaller level. Like obviously, like the stakes in Ant-Man and the Wasp, they weren't like the world destruction or anything.
Yeah,
like
just trying to
that.
get her mom back.
It's very small because he's not as powerful. He's Ant-Man. But when you have Captain Marvel, which comes this galactic thing, you thought that the plot would be stronger in that case. I feel as though there should have been more stakes on her part. And I guess it's like the whole idea is her regaining who Carol is.
Well, that's true. What were the stakes? The survival of the Skrulls, I guess.
I guess,
but
yeah. I don't
the
know.
Skrulls were introduced in the movie, so again, you don't care
I don't
about
know,
them.
yeah. I had fun. It's just like, it really is just a fun movie, I think. Because there isn't much there. It's just that... And when Endgame comes out, I might change my mind because I might come to love Captain Marvel. That usually is the case when they have the big movies. Like, you love all the characters in the bigger film. So we'll see. Oh, here's the one thing I had to say. Just if... So Jude Law, they always go back to, like, who does Jude Law see in the Central Intelligence? Right? Or something like that? They never answer that, right?
No.
But it's probably her? Is that crazy to say?
She asks him that, and he doesn't answer.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Who
he
did they
would,
turn... I
but
forgot. What did they say they turn into?
You're the person you look up to the most.
Something, yeah.
But it's weird because he...
Why would he look up to her?
I don't know, but it's like they never answered it intentionally,
Yeah.
I think. Unless that's really bad writing, and I doubt it because this is Marvel. They're not like that clumsy with writing. So.
Jude Law's character, Yanrog, he says at one point,
Yanrog.
we never tell each other who we see. But then as soon as Captain Marvel gets to Earth, and she's on the phone with him, she says, I saw her. I saw Wendy Lawson. She's who I see as the artificial intelligence. You just broke the rule.
Yes. Oh man! The
not
Kree.
5 minutes ago he told you no one tells anyone.
Well, remember they're very emotional, except they show no emotion. It was so Vulcan-y, but it wasn't like as well written as Vulcan, in my opinion.
We were talking earlier about again like character development, where in the final the big fight scene, Captain Marvel's taking down all of the side characters in that room. She gets to Minerva, Gemma Chan's character, and and she's like, you knew all along, even though there's no evidence to support that Minerva knew that they were massacring Skrulls just for fun. And she was like, yeah. And Captain Marvel goes, is that why we never hung out? And she just goes, no, I just never liked you.
See, that's what I was saying, that their failed attempt at humor in this movie.
Yes,
I think it
you're
was supposed to
very
be
right.
a joke, and then it was just kind of like, everyone was like...
It's like,
Well,
I
probably
don't think
'cause
they
they-
ever interacted in the movie at all.
I don't think
But
they
why
did.
would they hang out?
Well,
They're
that's what I
friends.
think that's what you were saying too. Like they had, like no one cared. Like there was no evidence to support like what you said. Like that they whatever you were saying.
No, you're so it's kind of like as though they followed the classic script of like, okay, we're gonna have the fight scene,
And then we'll throw a line of comedy
we're
in
gonna
there.
throw a line of comedy in the fight scene to break the tension. The fight scene was great, by the way. To give Captain Marvel
Yeah.
a plus, I thought that fight scene was really well. Like you couldn't see CG at all because I think it was mostly wire work.
Yeah.
So that was really impressive. I like that a lot.
And you just knew she was going to win because she was invulnerable at that point.
Literally,
She was on the poster.
Yeah. Why was she having trouble beating Jude Law during that fight? And then at the end, I guess in the end, he just let his guard down and she decided to blast him. Like, that was just
a very anticlimactic
The movie
ending.
is anticlimactic because there's probably about 5 minutes of her being like super awesome, and the rest of the movie is just like,
and then
who am I?
they leave 30 years. 20 years.
Yes.
20, 30 years.
of mystery where we don't know what happened between 1995 and 2019 or 18 when Endgame happened.
So do you think the next movie will fall in between there?
If they're smart, they should do a Captain Marvel 2 and it happens between. It shouldn't be
just a jump to 2000
because
whatever.
Then it's like, unless Endgame goes into a little bit of it, but I don't think they
Did they announce it yet?
Captain Marvel 2?
Yeah.
I don't think
so.
so.
But the money that this is making, they have to. Like, I mean, I can't imagine.
Well, that's why I was asking
Also,
if they...
she's probably taking the Captain America mantle, I think is... As in,
not
not her being Captain America, but, like, she will be
the
new
new
leader
of
of
the
the
Avengers.
Avengers.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet Lord, help us all.
Because they teased it. Like, her name on the fighter jet was Avenger. Like, the whole Avengers initiative is after her.
That was a little weird.
Which is dumb. It's like the same
That's how he comes up with the Avengers, Joe.
Did you guys see Han Solo? Because I felt the same way during Han Solo.
No,
I didn't.
Do you mind if I spoil one little thing from Han Solo?
I'm gonna scream.
No.
There's a scene where, like, towards the beginning, Han's, like, trying to get off the planet, and the Imperial like, he's gonna be recruited for the Imperial armor, and the Imperial officer's like, name, and he's like, Han, and, like, the Imperial officer's like, last name, and Han's like, I don't have one. And he's like, really? Solo. Because he's alone.
That's weird.
Like, nobody asked for that. It's kind of like nobody asked for why is it called the Avengers? It's just really thrown in things that nobody really cares to know.
That's really weird.
It's such a weird... Because there's like a minute pause where the...
Well, then I also didn't understand the fact that, like... And also, like, that scene where he has, like, that... He gets the case of eyes in the mail... And I'm like, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, there's no point of adding this scene because everyone knows he doesn't use a fake eye anyway.
Also, I love how the eyes were different colors.
Yeah.
Like, why would he not get another eye that was the same color as the original eye?
Yeah.
I want one green eye on my left side.
Know, they could tie that in with Rocket. Because Rocket just happened to have a spare
That
eye.
would be that would have been that'd be so funny. Well, actually, Nick Fury got evaporated though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn it.
Or Rocket.
Dehydrated is what we like to call him now.
Because Rocket's still alive. Rocket can be on Earth and be like, if they go to the Shield building,
Yeah.
he's like, look, I found a tray of eyes.
That would make that scene worth it for me. That would totally tie it in. Also, we know that Fury has to come back because Captain Marvel has to have a moment with Fury.
Yeah.
Because that's her only connection.
It is.
Yeah.
She barely has a connection to Earth.
I know, right? Yeah. She doesn't know anything.
She doesn't have a connection to the Kree. She doesn't have a connection to Earth.
Yeah, if I could talk one last thing about Captain Marvel, and then we can move on to
I have a few more things.
Oh, okay, good. All right, let's keep talking Captain Marvel. I think the hard thing about the movie is that it kind of starts from the end in a way. Because the whole resolution is where she's in the Central Intelligence and she's watching herself get knocked down. That all happened before. So her whole revelation is the past. If that makes any sense. Her whole arc has already happened.
Yeah.
The idea of her always getting back up, that's already existed. It's not a new discovery, it's her rediscovering it is the whole plot.
Yeah.
So I think that's like a really hard thing to do as a character development. That's why I think it kind of fell short for me. It's that all her development has already happened.
Yeah.
As a character, in a way. I don't know. Carol
Danvers.
She did a good job doing this.
Carlos
I think it's probably very hard as an actor to do this and make it very convincing, shooting photon blasts out of your hands.
Yeah, I have to admit that I went into this movie with such low expectations because I didn't think the trailers looked good, especially in that scene where she and Nick Fury are sitting in the restaurant or the bar, and she punches a photon blast to the jukebox. It just looked so bad. Like she was.
Well,
but because I had such low expectations, I was okay with the movie. It was not as bad.
Also, the joke around the jukebox I thought landed. That whole thing with
a squirrel cannot do that.
Yeah, that was really good. I thought that was well done.
Yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson, his humor scenes usually landed for me.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
Clark Gregg was good.
Samuel L. Jackson, like I mean,
yeah, true. Jude Law is amazing in everything he does. Like,
even
no matter
in
what
the
he
Sherlock
did,
Holmes movies.
I don't like those, but I still
said
think
he
he's a good actor.
Yeah.
I think he does good work.
You didn't like those movies?
No.
Really?
No. I prefer, like, classic Sherlock Holmes when it comes to Sherlock Holmes.
The one with Robert Downey Jr.?
I prefer, like, Sherlock and...
I don't like those either.
Really? Why? Is it because he's an American playing a Brit?
Totally. I don't care.
Because do you know how many actors and actresses
I just think
are
that people
British?
like Benedict do a better job. I think that's my reason. I prefer, like, the Benedict Cumberbatch Sherlock over the...
Well, to each his own.
Yeah, this isn't the Sherlock. They're both in the MCU. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Actually, wait. All the
that is
Sherlocks
funny.
and Watsons are in the MCU. Martin Freeman, Benedict, Jude Law, and Robert Downey Jr. They're all now.
Oh my God! Yeah, that is
crazy.
funny.
Okay,
that's funny. Well, see, it wasn't a wasted conversation after
it really
all.
wasn't. Yeah, that's funny. I didn't even think about
that is kind of.
I was waiting for the line in Infinity War where Martin Freeman's character would pop up and Benedict Cumberbatch and Robert Downey Jr. would be arguing. And then Martin Freeman was like, "No shit, Sherlock," or something like that. I was waiting for them to do a line. They didn't do it at all, but I was hoping for it.
I think eventually... So in the comics, Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers' friend, is Monica Rambeau. And in the movie, in the 90s...
Monica Geller?
It was Maria Rambeau. Or her daughter's name was Monica.
Oh!
So when Captain Marvel's trilogy arc finally gets back up to the present time, and Monica is now grown up, then she can take the place as Monica Rambeau and be, like, her friend, even though she's her niece.
So you think in Endgame there will be an older version
of Monica Rambeau? I think it's possible, definitely.
Okay.
Like, maybe her mom, like, maybe Maria got snapped.
Yeah.
I was just hoping Sylvester Stallone would pop out.
And Monica's like, I haven't seen you in 20 years.
I know, right?
Like,
That's weird. Yeah.
You look the same somehow.
I know, that's such a crazy time jump to do. 20 years is like, wow, I've been... Because, like, she's not Earthling. That was a day, right? She was on Earth for a day. Yeah. And that's it. So that's pretty... Yeah, I know. 22 hours. We're going to do the Jude Law thing that he said. We'll be there in 22 hours. Oh, Captain Marvel.
So that's cool. And
Which seemed like a long time to get to Earth.
I know, right?
22 hours?
We haven't talked about Goose.
Oh, we should probably talk about Goose.
Definitely talk about
cat
Goose.
was walking around for 6 years.
Oh, yeah, okay. So
yeah.
We'll go with the problems of Goose first, then go into how great Goose was. Yeah, so Marvel presumably brought Goose to Earth. I don't think it's ever explained.
It's never said, no, yeah.
But Marvel presumably brought Goose to Earth as a Florkin, probably for protection, or maybe it was just her pet. But then after Marvel dies, this cat, Florkin, has just been walking around this facility for 6 years.
Just surviving off people.
Yeah, it's just like eating unsuspecting
He must have been
custodian
just eating
every once in a while.
And everyone's like, it's a cat.
Yeah. Like, no one even notices this cat for 6 years.
Yeah, I know. I never really thought about that, but you're so right. That is a big problem.
Clearly it wasn't hiding, because they
found
Fury
the cat
and,
easy, yeah.
And Danvers walk in, and there's Goose.
However, they to give them credit, they do have the line where the woman says, "Wow, Goose really takes a liking to you. It's hard for Goose to take a liking to someone." So maybe the cat was actually hiding for 6 years.
Yeah.
And surviving on what? Just eating a random janitor
I don't
every...
know how that alien works. Maybe it
know.
doesn't actually have to feed or something.
Maybe. I don't know.
My god damn, this movie. Wow, Goose. Whoever thought Goose was so complicated.
But Goose is great. Oh, wait, okay, so we'll have another problem with Goose.
Goose.
The post-credit scene when...
Goose.
Goose.
Vin Diesel was angry that there was a character closely resembling Groot. Too like it.
I am Goose.
The post-credit scene where Goose coughs up the Tesseract. Oh, well, the Tesseract in general. First time we see the Tesseract is after the Captain America, the first
Yes,
Avenger.
I was hoping you'd bring that up.
Howard
yeah.
Stark or Bucky, they dig it up from the bottom of the ocean because they have that in a claw.
Yeah.
That's the first time we see it. Then it's back in the Avengers. So, how did it go from Howard Stark to Marvel?
To space.
To space.
Yeah, that's like a pretty big jump. I don't know.
Is. I mean, it's 50 years.
I guess, like a lot of it.
But, yeah, a little explanation.
eBay.
When does Red Skull come back? Maybe he's in the Captain Marvel too.
Yeah.
I'm back. Again, I have my cape. Yeah, wow, yeah. I think the thing that's hard with this prequel... Sorry to go off Goose for a second, because Goose is the best part of this movie. They messed around with a lot of things that they probably shouldn't have messed with. And that just leaves you questions with like, wait, okay, they did that there. How does that get there now? Like, there's a lot of things, and I get it. It's 50 years after Captain America, and it's 20 years before Avengers. So it's like, I get it, but still, it was a little sometimes jarring.
Did they specifically say what year it took place?
95.
95.
Hey.
Yeah.
So
That was a delicious year.
Friends, yeah. Oh, sorry, Friends.
I was born in 95. That's what I'm
there
saying.
you go.
That's the most important.
Yeah. Sorry, they should have said that in the movie. Conor.
September 29, 1995. That's an important date, right?
Yeah. Samuel L. Jackson's like, what? That's where he'd have his motherfucker.
Yeah.
He'd be like, motherfucker.
So good things about Goose.
Yeah, good. I enjoyed the Samuel L. Jackson and Goose moments. They were adorable.
Yeah.
But I especially enjoyed when Ben Mendelsohn was afraid of Goose.
Yeah.
And the scene where he's just holding a cat.
Yeah, he's
Or
just
it's- yeah.
Or when they're taking off into space and the cat just pressed
Yeah,
against
exactly. Oh, that cat was so adorable too.
Yeah, it was.
I won't lie, I thought that was one of the best jumps of the movie when the tentacles just burst out
Yeah.
of its mouth.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god.
And he does it again.
Go on.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Come on. Yeah, Goose is smart. He knew it was a scroll. That's
Yeah.
really kind of... I like how Goose isn't... Will Goose be in...
Why can't Goose just eat Thanos?
That's what...
Wasn't
If that is the end to
Wasn't
Endgame,
Goose-
I will be happy. I will
I
be
know.
okay with that end, yeah.
Well, because didn't they mention actually in the movie that they said there's scrolls on the planet, right? They mentioned that in the beginning.
Yeah.
So maybe that's how the cat was surviving? Was it just find people, scrolls who were trying to infiltrate S.H.I.E.L.D. and was just like, nom, nom, nom.
But the cat knows the scrolls are good, though.
Yeah, how did I find out Skrulls were good?
I think
because it was
because Marvel, yeah.
Marvel knew Skrulls were.
I wonder how that cat's intelligence works. Hey, Marvel, quick question here. How intelligent is Goose? How does Goose learn? Is Goose just the cat's intelligence? I don't know.
Wow, deep.
Really deep stuff. Hey, Goose. Goose really did it for me. I love how he got his own poster for the Marvel thing, which was so funny. I'm so into Goose. I think Goose will be an Endgame.
I hope
Goose
so.
should get
His
own
own
story.
movie.
Goose, actually, it's going to be another versus movie. It's going to be Goose versus Anthony.
It's
no,
actually
Goose versus Groot.
Goose versus Groot.
Captain Marvel 2, the main character is actually Goose, and the side character is Carol Danvers.
And Groot. Yeah, they're going to get Groot in it somehow. Vin Diesel's like, I'm not in enough Marvel movies. And then they're like, alright, jeez. He's like, what movie you want to be? I want to be opposite Goose. And they're like, you realize he's just a cat. Like, I want to be opposite Goose.
And like, and
I'm a
it's
tree.
CGI cat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it's a CGI cat.
I wonder
and
if
a
like, Vin Diesel has
Was it CGI for most of it?
It looked CGI for most of it.
Really?
There were
'Cause
times
I thought-
where it was a real cat.
I think
There were
when
definitely
he
times where it was a real
met the cat the first time and he
Oh,
picked it up, I
definitely
think
real,
that
yeah.
was the.
There was
I think
a
it was
lot
a
of
real cat.
CGI cat. There was a lot.
Oh,
of CGI
obviously,
cat.
you're not gonna be able to have a cat have tentacles come out of its
What?
mouth.
I thought
That's
this
not
was
real?
Work. You're telling me
I'm
that
not a
cats don't have
science. I'm not a
tentacles, yeah.
science major, but I don't think that it's possible.
I'm pretty sure cats have tentacles that just.
I wish they had Bill Nye in this. Just have like Bill Nye at Shield just walking around.
See, I think they could have had more '90s references.
That's what I was
really think
saying.
They could, yeah. So Bill Nye on. Well, of course, they'd have to use de-aging on Bill Nye.
That'd be just funny though. They just were like, it's too much, and they just have Bill Nye look like how he looks like today, or they just take clips of him from the Bill Nye the TV show.
Or they could have just had it playing on a TV in some
Yeah.
place. I don't know where it would be. Also, quick thing on music. Should have had different music selections. Just gonna say. I thought they could have picked better
Well-
90s tunes. For
Well, yeah. I was telling Josh before you came down. I was mentioning to him that I kind of wish they had showed her in Radio Shack trying to purchase things because she doesn't remember being on Earth. So how is she gonna buy things? And all of a sudden she has a thing where she unhooks the phone.
Oh, well, I think it was closed. I think she just broke in.
Yeah, she-
Well, that would have been
Cop
funny to
literally
see.
was like,
though.
"Oh yeah, break in, go for it." Yeah.
Well, we don't know though. I mean, we assume it was closed, but the security guard should have been like, "Well, it's closed" or something like that. But that would have been cool though if it was open to see her
it
interaction.
definitely was closed because Blockbuster was closed.
Okay, you know what?
I'm
I'm just trying to prove a point. I'm just saying if they
because
the longevity of that scene. I want more 90s. I want Radio Shack. All right, is that too much
You're
to ask?
absolutely right because there was a cute thing that they had where Captain Marvel's like, are you head of security for your planet? And like she's talking like this alien, and it would have been funny if they did continue that in a Radio Shack where she continued this bit, because I don't think
you head of communications for this planet?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because I think they could have. Sorry, my my translator chip might not be working. Can you understand me? There were so many funny things. Also, do all the people on the Kree planet speak English then?
Or she speaks Kree, but it comes out translated.
Okay, so that's what I meant. Because no, but then she takes off the Marvel suit for the leather jacket, or is it underneath?
I think it's under. Must be underneath.
Oh my god! Oh Jesus! Okay. Oh man.
Must be underneath.
That'd be crazy if she just spoke Kree the whole time.
Yeah.
You just really never thought about it. Damn.
Or if they have a translator and they found her speaking English, then her translator just translates her into
Kree. That's a good point. Oh man. Hey Marvel, another question.
They never explain that in the Guardians movies either.
No, they don't. That's
Everyone
a really good
speaks
point.
English across the galaxy.
Well, that's what we could learn. Aliens will always speak English.
Yeah.
If I know one thing for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think we really covered a lot of Captain Marvel.
45 minutes.
In the end, no matter how much you bash it, it's still a fun movie.
Yeah.
And I think we're only bashing it because it is Marvel, and Marvel just does a great job.
That's exactly it. Like, we're nitpicking.
It was, I was thinking about today too. I was like, most of the characters I do not care about in the series. I feel kind of bad, but like, I don't care about Captain Marvel. I don't care about Mantis,
much, and they didn't give.
And I don't care about Scarlet Witch. Like, I honestly those Captain Marvel. I can't get into because I don't really care.
I got into Scarlet Witch after Infinity War. Because I liked her thing with Paul Bettany. I really thought that was adorable.
I will debate you on this because she's one of the most irrelevant characters.
Hey,
I don't think we can get enough Scarlet Witch. I want to see her just throw things around there.
She's powerful too. Like she really is. Like, also, I want to have. Can we have a podcast where we just talk about the relationships in Marvel?
Yes.
Because I'd love to dive into that Paul Bettany Scarlet Witch thing. I like that a lot.
Vision Scarlet Witch.
Oh no! Wait, I thought he plays Paul Bettany. In the movie. He's just purple Paul Bettany in the whole film. I also never thought about it. It makes sense if he left because he's been in the movie since Iron Man.
If you really was Jarvis,
he's Jarvis, which is crazy. He's OG.
Does he go if he turns in when he goes into a human form? Does he go by Jarvis?
He goes by Paul Bettany. Actually, he's like, did you see?
He goes by
Code?
He goes by Robert Downey Jr.
He does. God, that'd be crazy.
That was a thing that we brought up in one of the other movies. Like, if you can just turn into a human, like, why wouldn't he walk around being a human the entire time?
Because he didn't have. I don't know. It's because he was. At first, they're like, "We want you to put this makeup on," and then after, probably was it? When did they finally have him be human? Was it not until Infinity War?
Yeah, remember they were in Ireland.
He was like, "You're not paying me enough to do this makeup."
Well, the funny thing is like if you actually like think about it, like I was thinking about that entire scene, and then I was like, with Scarlet Witch, I was like, "Girl, you are getting upset over a computer." I was like, "You can't
the sexy computer."
I was like, "Yeah, but you can't reproduce with a computer unless you're playing Sims."
I don't know.
Maybe that's why he's in human form.
That's a good point.
Yeah, but I don't think you can just automatically grow stuff down there.
I
don't think that's how that works.
Another quick question. We want the biology of Paul Bettany's character Vision.
This Vision.
Human form and computer form. Yeah, we want to know the difference.
Alright, I'm going to stop it here. We have 3 great questions, so if you want those answered, tag Marvel and tag us.
And the Russo brothers.
Yeah.
And the Russo brothers. We need to get them on.
I found out that they do have an Instagram, by the way.
They have to.
Well, I didn't know that they had an Instagram. There's a lot of people like, you don't have an Instagram.
I actually do now.
Do you really?
Yeah, but don't follow it.
I don't.
If you wanted to follow me, it's at Josh Karam Artist on Facebook. That's
there we go.
Josh Karam Artist. Dude.
Well, this was fun.
Yeah, I had a fun time. I really.
It's always fun to use your hands.
Thank you. This was. I was very excited because I saw it last night, and I was just waiting to talk about it because I think it was. It was the movie that we saw after. What was the last Marvel film?
Infinity War.
Oh, I guess Ant-Man and the Wasp. But I mean, I think I'm still comparing it to. I'm
still
comparing
Joe,
it to
you're the Marvel
Infinity
buff, aren't
War.
you?
I think it's the thing, yeah.
I messed up.
Definitely.
Let me bridge the gap really quick.
All right, sorry. I gotta catch. I'm gonna look at my 1995 pager here. Yes. God, I love pagers.
Alright. Thanks for tuning in.
as they'd say in the 90s, have a tubular night. Tubular?
Tubular.
That's what it is.
Have a gnarly night.
Have a gnarly night, that's it, yeah. Shaka.
Rad.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's Marvel Therapy Group, where together we can work through our comic thoughts and learn to live beside them. Views expressed are of the host only and do not reflect Marvel Studios or comics in any way. Hosts are in no way qualified to provide therapy. This is simply the name of the podcast. This has been another Marvel Therapy Group session.